page from the Mufti's payroll in Germany. Raisam Khalidi and Wasef Kamel, both members of the Arab Hire Committee, received 700 Reichsmarks monthly. Raisam Khalidi's receipts in payment of sabotage services, rendered to Mufti against United Nations, December 15, 41. I received from His Eminence the sum of 1,620 marks, on account of Zui 1 Kifl * and Abdul Latif el-Khayali, and my traveling expenses. For confirmation, I wrote this receipt. Signed, Raisam el-Khalidi. * Parachutist engaged in sabotage. Later captured by the British in Palestine. The Arab Office. The Grand Mufti. Marks number 700. 700 marks only. Received from the Treasurer of the Arab Office. The sum of 700 marks. Pfennig. Allowances for the month of May 1945. In witness thereof I append my signature. This February 4, 1945. Serial number 45, 4, 3, 17. Signature, signed, Raisam el-Khalidi. I received from His Eminence the Grand Mufti the sum of $100 through Mr. Raisam el-Khalidi. Athens, November 26, 1942. The Arab Freedom Broadcasting Station. Receipt from Jamal Husseini found in the financial file, in Mufti's office in Germany. Iraqi dinars, 65. Received from His Excellency Hajj Amin el-Husseini, the sum mentioned above, 65 dinars, for rent of house 1939 to 1940. In witness whereof I append my signature. Signed, Jamal Husseini. December 2, 1939. Received also 14 dinars for rent of the house, for an additional period of 1 month and 1 week. Signed, Jamal Husseini. British intelligence report on Dr. Jamali, Iraq's delegate to UN. Defense Security Office, CLCI, Iraq, Baghdad, S. 410-1. April 11, 1945. A short history of enemy subversive activity in Iraq 1935 to 1941. Introduction. History so often repeats itself that much can be learnt from the study of the past. Between the years 1933 and 1939, but 6 in all, Hitler built up Germany into a first-class power, equipped her with the most formidable machinery of warfare, and set out to conquer the world. In the meantime, as all the world knows, Great Britain found herself unprepared to meet the greatest onslaught of all time. In 1937, Dr. Fadhil al-Jamali, at that time Director General of Education, visited Germany where he was accorded an official welcome and was lavishly entertained. On his return, Dr. Jamali was prevailed upon by the Germans to send an Iraqi delegation to the Nuremberg Rally of 1938. This was headed by Al-Aqid Colonel Mahmoud Fadhil al-Janabi, who was personally introduced to the Führer. The effect of this meeting, together with the impressive martial atmosphere of the rally may, in some measure, account for the enthusiasm with which Janabi, on his return to Iraq, reorganized the Futuwa, the Iraqi Youth movement, on lines similar to those of the Hitler Jugend. The uniform especially designed and worn by the members of the delegation on the occasion of the rally was later adopted by the Futuwa. What the Axis powers have done in the past, other foreign powers with hostile intentions can do in the future, unless the British continually watch and combat their subversive activity. Major. For Wing Commander, Defense Security Officer, HKDS/JPB/H. P.RDX Merit. Turkestan, Caucasian, Azerbaijan, Bosnian Quislings. The Mufti reviews the Bosnian Muslim troops. Photograph published by the Berliner Illustrierte Zeitung. The Mufti with Wali Quyum Khan, Turkestan Quisling. The Mufti and his Quislings identified in Arabic, in the Mufti's own handwriting. Abbas Ali Bek of Azerbaijan, the Mufti, von Heinisch, German Foreign Office official, Ali Khan Kwan, representing Caucasian Quislings, Wali Quyum Khan, Turkestan Quisling. The Mufti and his Balkan Muslim supporters. From the Grand Mufti to General Oshima. Bin Zellendorf, February 20, 1943. To Ambassador General Oshima. Berlin. Your Excellency, I have taken cognizance of the declaration of the Imperial Foreign Minister, in the lower house on February 9, 1943, which discloses a very high policy with respect to the Muslims and the Indians. I am particularly happy that we had an opportunity to discuss this subject in our conversation of February 3rd. I allow myself to include with this note the text of the message to be forwarded to the Foreign Minister of Japan. In the hope that the friendly relations between Japan and the Islamic world will ever become closer, I remain. With respectful esteem, H. The thanks of Japanese Ambassador to Mufti for broadcast. Embassy of Japan, Berlin. Berlin, February 23, 1943. Your Eminence, I wish to acknowledge the receipt of your letter of the 20th of this month, and to convey my warmest thanks. In accordance with your request, I have cabled the contents of your communication to the Foreign Minister in Tokyo. At the same time, learning through Dr. Jandelli of your interest in the statements made on February 9th by the Japanese Foreign Minister and the Japanese House of Deputies with respect to the Islamic world, I have the honor of sending you a translation of it. I take this opportunity to express to your Eminence my devoted feelings of esteem and respect. Oshima, Ambassador of Japan, to His Eminence, the Grossmufti Muhammad Emin el-Husseini, Chairman of the Highest Arab Committee, Gothestrasse 31-33, Berlin-Zehlendorf. The Muftis deal with Tokyo for broadcasts. The Ambassador of Japan, Rome. Rome, February 17, 1942. Your Eminence, it was a great pleasure for me to make your acquaintance. I have informed my government of your ready consent to deliver several addresses to the Muslims of the South Pacific and India, and I am glad to express to your Eminence the greatest thanks in advance on behalf of my government. I will be most obliged if your Eminence would let me know the moment when you are ready to speak, in order that I may request the Italian Ministry to send the necessary technical personnel for the impression of the records, and to have the Ministry take all the required measures to secure the best transmission to Tokyo. I would be equally happy to have the English and French translations of the broadcasts, since it is the intention of the Japanese government to follow each by a translation, either in English or in Japanese. In expressing again my most sincere thanks, I beg your Eminence to accept the homage of my highest and respectful esteem. Signed, Yoshiro Ando, Counselor of the Embassy, to His Eminence, the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, Villa Kalana, Embassy of Japan, Rome. Rome, February 17, 1942. Eminence, it was a great pleasure for me to have had the opportunity to meet you. The prompt consent of His Eminence to deliver some speeches intended for Muslims in the South Pacific and the Indies has been communicated to the Japanese government, which, in advance, thanks your Eminence. When your Eminence is ready to speak, I would ask her to kindly inform me, because I will ask the competent Italian ministry to send the technicians responsible for recording your Eminence's speech on discs, and, in agreement with this ministry, we will make the necessary arrangements for his speeches to be broadcast in Tokyo. I would also be happy if your Eminence would kindly communicate to me the English or French translation of his speeches, because the intention of the Japanese government is to have each speech followed by its translation, either in English or in Japanese. In renewing my thanks to your Eminence, I beg him to accept the assurances of my most respectfully devoted consideration. To His Eminence, the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, Villa Kalana, Yoshiro Ando, Embassy Advisor.